Hello, everybody, and welcome to a cheeky little live stream of a Thursday afternoon from the team at Mobilize here. If you haven't heard of Mobilize, we are a tech startup run by carers and for carers. And our mission is to transform the way the UK's 13.5 million family carers can support each other. It's a real treat to welcome my colleague, Suzanne, today. So my name's James, and I'm CEO and founder of Mobilize. Suzanne, do say hello.
Hello, good afternoon, folks. I'm Suzanne. I'm head of carer support here at Mobilize. I'm also a carer for my husband, Matt, who's living with young onset Parkinson's disease. And it's great to be here. Hey, we're live. We did it.
Yeah, we managed it. So this is the first time I've been in the driving seat for the live streaming gadgetry. So hopefully somebody can hear us or see us. Or hello, Mum, if you're here. So, Suzanne, over the last couple of months through lockdown, you've been having, you and the team at Mobilize have been having over 2,000 support conversations with carers, which is an extraordinary number. And on top of that, you've had 40,000 email exchanges with carers as well. So that in itself would be worthy of a live stream. But you've also, you've put up a blog today about some priorities for carers in September. Can you tell us where that's all coming from?
Okay, so we do this every month, really. We started in April and we just asked them to tell us what their priority is for the current month, kind of right now, how are they doing? So it's a really quick sense check of how people are, a temperature check, I think, to use a phrase of yours. But it's great. So people just quickly vote in the poll, but they have a chance to tell us more in the comments as well. So that's where we really hear the story behind what people are saying is their priority.
Yeah. And so we've been doing this since, I think, March was the first one. So we've got a nice bit of, to use the technical jargon, longitudinal data, and we can follow what people's priorities are. And it's probably worth saying a little bit that Carers Trust have kind of really substantial scientific surveys that they do. This is slightly different. It's a little bit more lightweight and snappy. And really the purpose of this is to give us a quick, highly responsive way to make sure our content is meeting the needs of the carers in our community. So, Suzanne, what is the priority for the carers in our Mobilize community at the moment?
Well, there's been a real swing, actually, and it wasn't a complete surprise because we're talking to carers every day, but their own stress and anxiety is the thing that's kind of really had an upshot there. I don't know if you want to share from the blog, There's a little picture there of a little graph. It's very simple. But so previously, people have been saying, you know, the virus itself, particularly last month, was a big issue. Look at that. The blue line with the virus went right up in August as we came out of lockdown and things started to change, particularly people coming out of shielding, being expected to go back to work. And now look at it. September, the red line is carers' own stress and anxiety. And that's their priority right now. That's the big thing for them. And what they're saying in the comments there is that, you know, I matter, my feelings are really important right now, and there's a whole variety of things causing that.
Yeah, well, can you say a little bit more about what's driving that? So there's clearly a huge uptick in the red line there. So this is a really kind of the moment thing that's a real peak for carers at the moment. Can you just describe from your conversations with carers what's your sense of what's driving that? What are the real priorities and causes of the stress and anxiety?
I think look at just what they've been through over the last 5-6 months, all the stuff that's gone on. So they've dealt with all the practical problems of shopping and getting prescriptions. They've dealt with all of those stresses. They've dealt with keeping their loved ones safe and protected from the virus. They've dealt with a drop in support and in some cases, complete lack of support. Sometimes through those support services closing, other times through their own choice about this is their safest way to keep safe, their best way to keep safe. So even they've kind of turned away the support from family and friends as well. So becoming on their own, isolated, long-term. And you know what? There doesn't seem to be light at the end of the tunnel right now because we're seeing an upturn in numbers. We're seeing what other people are doing and how they are kind of living out their lives. We're kind of all through a sort of lens of social media and news bites and things, but it feels really stressful. And our resilience has kept us going this far, but I think people are starting to run out.
There's a really interesting comment that you shared in the blog there. I'm finding it more stressful the longer the situation continues, and I haven't had a break. And there's something, certainly I've had a fair few conversations with carers where they're kind of going in, that almost like they're running on adrenaline, and there's a certain amount of energy that can be drawn out when there's a crisis on. But at some point that's got to step down, and a lot of the support services that they'd normally be relying on aren't working in the same way, so they've got to find new ways of getting that support and getting a break as well. One other comment that I wanted to bring up in your blog as well: for the next 18 months as a carer, this will mean thinking around things constantly. Do you want to say anything about what that means?
Yeah, it's getting ready for the, we talk about this phrase, a new normal, and at Mobilise, we've been really trying to encourage people to create their own new normal and think about that. But the reality is that, the virus doesn't seem to be going away. They're not going to be able to just have new services opening up. In a lot of cases, some of those services, the funding has gone or the financial situation has changed and those services have closed. So they know it's going to be a long time to get things going again. They're being super realistic, and they know that what that means is balancing risk with getting on with life, getting out there. I think that's what people are realizing they need to do. We can't stay at home forever. We've got to get out there and get back to work, or get back and mixing with other people before we sort of get stuck in our own heads too much. So it's just knowing that this isn't a short-term thing. This is a long-term thing. And a lot of carers just do it 24/7, all the time, without a break anyway. But what might have been different is that they've had a coffee with a friend, that they would have gone maybe away on holiday with their loved one still, so not most easy of holidays, but they would have had a change of scene, or they would maybe have had some respite care for a few days, or would have had a bit of a break that's just, the carers don't ask for much. There's that bit that gives you a little bit of breathing space. And just that daily stuff, like having a coffee with a friend, chatting to a neighbour. We're just not seeing as many people as we used to.
Yeah, and that might sound like some soft, fluffy, kind of friendly things, but we're seeing that it actually really does matter, and it particularly matters at moments of stress. You've really helpfully flagged that stress and anxiety are a big priority for carers at the moment. What have you seen are effective ways, both for carers to support themselves, but also for the many organizations that are out there to support carers? What can we all be doing to help address this point that you've spotted?
There's lots that goes on, actually. Normally, stress and anxiety has long been an issue for carers. But I think what's different here is carers now are saying, I recognise it and this is a priority for me. And that's something quite different. Normally they just cope with it and accept it. And I think something is shifting, which could be quite a positive thing. So a lot of carers organisations run online counselling, group support, mindfulness, and different sort of programs to support carers' well-being. And maybe in the past, they've not seen the uptake in that being huge. Perhaps they felt, well, we're not really attracting new people that really need this service right now. And I think now's the time to really respond quickly to that and really notice what carers want and see how we can get those things running online, by telephone, in a park, while the weather's still good. Let's do it. Let's not plan it for January. Let's plan it right now and get these things up and running right now. And also, great peer support groups, things like, peer support pairs and things like that. There's lots out there that carers can use. And in Mobilise, we meet daily with carers and our cuppers. And, we have a different theme each day, but our Wednesdays are Wellbeing Wednesdays. So we're kind of saying, right, there's the moment where we can start to talk about these things. And carers have got a lot of strategies already. They need reminding about them, or a chance to just think them through, share them with each other and learn from each other. One of the big things carers are thinking about is what's in my control. If I'm trying to worry about everything that's not in my control, what are the people over there doing? What are my neighbours up to? What are the people on the news in another part of the country doing? If we're stressing about that, there's nothing we can do about it. It's just something we worry about. And focusing our concern on those things that are in our circle of concern, if you're a Stephen Covey fan, in that circle of concern where we can do, circle of influence, where we can do something about it. Let's put our energies there and see something happen. But carers come up with all sorts of stuff. One carer, she was really concerned about going out to the shops for the first time and really anxious. She'd had a panic attack somewhere else. And the other carer said, oh, just phone me up. We can chat on the phone while you do it. And that sounded like a great idea, a great solution. But do you know what? She didn't even phone her up. She just took her in her head and just had that carer's voice in her head. And that was all she needed. And it got her through. And she came back to the group and was really proud to say, I've done it. And that inspired other people to say, okay, maybe I can. I'm scared too. These sorts of things happen to me, but maybe I can do it.
Yeah. And there's such an important message in there, isn't there? Which is whether or not whether you're a carer or an organization supporting a carer, you probably have something up your sleeve that could be really helpful at this moment. And the challenge is to get that now while people are really aware of the fact that they need to be looking after themselves, and that stress and anxiety is a thing that's really current. Suzanne, thanks so much for sharing this and for all of your work chatting to carers and making sure that we've got the support. So the cuppers are available pretty much every day, and people can come to mobiliseonline.co.uk. You've got the website going along the bottom of the screen there now, and we're on all of the socials. If you want to reach out, we'll pick you up, and we would love to hear from you if you're a carer, but also if you're an organisation supporting carers, because we want to share all that wisdom that's bound up across the country about this challenge that we're facing at the moment. Brilliant. Suzanne, thank you very much.
Pleasure. Great to chat about it.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye.